On paper with recent results, this is going to be pretty easy, isn't it?
What, ours or Irish
players?
Oh, look, I wouldn't. We're certainly not reading anything into that. If anything, it makes them more dangerous. I remember being there in 2003. Remember that? 9 on the bounce.
10. Ospreys, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we know what it's like. So it's not a nice place to be in. But what you do is you roll your sleeves up, you work bloody hard, and you fight for everything to get that win. So, we're under no illusion of how difficult it's going to be. You only got to reflect back several games ago to how dangerous they can be. Looking back at our first game, we had to defend more defensive sets against that team than we have against any other team this season. So they got threats all around the park. And I suppose the pressure's off them a little bit in terms of this competition. They may have tightened up a little bit in the Premiership with regards to how important that is to them, but with regards to this competition now they can perhaps relax and play a bit. So no, we're not thinking like that at all.
I saw 2-1 winning there, and they played rugby. That was and Van Niekerk was superb.
Yeah, I think you have to get your game plan right against them. As I said, we have to defend a lot of sets against them. They're a blitzing team. They blitz hard. They score a lot of tries and interceptions. They scored one against us down at Liberty. So you have to be very wary of what they bring. You have to get your kicking game right because they have a lot of threats and they're prepared to attack from deep. And they've got some real physical players and people like Stowers and Hallow Fear and Mapasua and Elvis, who we know a lot about in the midfield. So you have to bring a level of physicality. You have to retain the ball, not turn it over. And if we can impose ourselves on our game plan, as we saw on Friday night and over the Christmas period, then we'll be confident. But certainly won't be easy. We went up with a lot of confidence in the League Cup a couple of years ago, got in the lead, but then an interception cost us the game. So very dangerous team, and we'll be all about us really, about preparing and getting ourselves ready.
Scrum up the key. They've been struggling a bit in scrum at times in the Premiership.
Dumb interpretation these days, isn't it? But no, I think we've got a referee in the weekend that doesn't take any messing around at scrum time. George, he certainly likes the game to get on. We've been quite dominant in the scrum area this season. We're very happy with the boys. We'll go about our business. But with regards to London Irish, I can't comment too much. We just set our stall out, do what we do normally, and hopefully get the upper hand there.
Is Shane available?
Not this weekend, no.
Why do you like it?
Well, best case scenario is too long. He's working extremely hard. He's running now, doing a lot of conditioning sessions, so it's about getting his lungs right as much as anything, his legs right. Shoulder's fine. He's just going through the rehab process, and I say best case scenario for us would be too long. But that's it. It's a day-by-day thing.
Obviously, he was keen man against, but that's simple like a try against London Irish.
Yeah, special, wasn't it? It's a special player, and in up to that, perhaps his form wasn't great, but the thing with Shane is he can come up with something magical, like he did in that game.
So confident, sure.
I think you've got to be confident, Dan. You've got to go into these games with a level of excitement and confidence. We've spoken in recent weeks with the players about treading the line of confidence and arrogance and complacency. And then you walk that line throughout, and we're at a level of confidence at the moment, obviously off the back of some good performances against Munster, the Scarlets, our second half against the Blues, and in terms of the depth of our squad, many parts of Friday against Leinster against the top team. So yeah, I think perhaps we should have on reflection, but it's one that got away. So we're in a pretty confident mood, and where we've turned the corner probably since Beirut's last year is having that confidence and that belief to go and impose ourselves on the opposition, no matter where we are, home or away. So the boys know that. They'll prepare well. We've got some fresh legs. We rested last week and had a bit of a conditioning block, so we're in pretty good shape.
Sean, a lot has been said this week about the doom and gloom of Gethin Jenkins being injured, but Paul James over the last 18 months has probably a player who was making all bigger strides than Ian were.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, really. It's nice that Paul gets some recognition because for us, since our inception, he's been an extremely consistent player, and he's made a big step up, you know, proven on the international stage, you know, to be a top player, and we just hope he'll kick on. And it's very, very unfortunate for getting. Nobody likes to see that, but there's an opportunity there for Paul now, and we're very lucky at the Ospreys to have some loose heads, a bit of a chain of loose heads, with Duncan obviously coming back from injury, and Ryan Bevington proving all the time that he's a huge prospect, and now Paul has that mantle, and he's wearing it quite well at the moment.
You wouldn't expect that the Welsh come to be any less dominant in the Six Nations than it was in the autumn series with Paul is there.
No, you know, he's scrummaging very, very well for us. You know, he's a big, strong, big, powerful man. Technically, he's very proficient. You know, I'm no expert in that area, but I do sit in on everything our forward coaches and players, you know, talk about. And he's very square, and he has good shape and profile, and you know, that all goes well for not just our scrum, but the national one as well.
No concerns with James?
No, look, he nearly made the Leinster game. He was due to travel on the bench. Had a small back episode, which he's had once before, a couple of years ago against Perpignan, and it took him 3 or 4 days to recover, so we thought probably best not to risk him. But just off the back of that, Ashley Beck was absolutely outstanding in Leinster against 2 British line centres, and again, you know, through the Six Nations now we'll see Ashley step up, and you know, he's the next one off the belt, hopefully.
If Ensign becomes available in the summer, you guys be interested in getting him back?
On
Gavin Ensign, when he's available in the
I thought
summer.
I finished all those questions.
We just say about Ashley Beck now, here's your chance to nail it down.
We thought you missed the questions.
Can't comment on Gavin, because you know, in terms of recruitment, I don't think he's on our radar.
Might there be a concern with Dan Bigger's confidence after last week?
I would never be concerned about Dan Bigger's confidence. Do I put that one on record? No, look, kickers know that they tread that line. Some days they're really good, some days they have off days. It's one of those days. He's tried a couple of long ones of late, you know, a couple of shots of distance. Extremely unlucky, the first one when the ball's tipped over, bless him, you know, and that's a nightmare to happen. But no, this season Danny has been striking the ball superbly. You know, I'd rather talk about the game where he Leinster home, where he virtually won us the game with his kicking. He's been exemplary, and he's put a lot of work in that area. So no, I never doubt Dan's confidence. He thought he played particularly well Friday. You know, take those kicks out of it. He's a leader within the group already as a youngster, as I've said before, and I have no issues there.
What happened to your line-out, Sean?
Oh, a couple of things, Mark. A couple of throwing errors, a couple of underthrows, one overthrow, a couple of communication issues where the boys struggled with the crowd, and you know, the 2 of those unfortunately were in the opposition's 22s, so we lost 8 line-outs out of 14. But you know, again, those things happen. You know, on the night. They put us under a lot of perceived pressure. Fair play to them. And funny enough, we did the same to Leinster. You know, we restricted them and pinched a couple of balls, so it was quite a tussle there. But again, you know, there'll be slightly different personnel this week, and there are no issues in that department.